Nose of the grindstone. County coal. He fucked up his back, couldn't work anymore. He said one of these days you'll get out of these hills. Keep your anymore. He grinds stone out of the pills. See, the ways of this world will just bring you to tears. Keep the Lord in your heart and you'll have nothing to fear. Live the best that you can and don't lie and don't steal. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills. Well, Daddy, I've been trying, I just can't catch a break. There's too much in this world I can't seem to shake. Your nose on. But I remember your words, Lord, they bring me chills. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills. Just as good as his word. It takes twice as long to build bridges you've burnt, and there's hurt you can cause time alone cannot heal. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills. Well, Daddy, I've been trying, I just can't catch a break. There's too much in this world I can't seem to shake. But I remember your words, Lord, they bring me to chills. Keep your nose on the grindstone and out of the pills. Keep your nose on the grindstone.
Come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Oh my goodness. It's Monday morning. It was super close to me not being here whatsoever today. But I think I did finally manage to make it one way or the other. Good morning, Zack. How are you doing?
Hey there. I'm alright, I guess.
Yeah.
Just stung on my eyelid.
Oh, shit.
yesterday.
That's never good.
No, kind of freaked me out. I didn't have too bad of a reaction. And right behind my ear, too. I was down there by the creek cleaning out some brush. And I don't know, like they both got me right at the exact same time.
Oh, they
I just felt like this. Yeah. That was the end of working outside yesterday for a little bit. It was weird, man. It started puffing up pretty good. It went down a little bit already. But yeah, it's like I can't look straight down out of my right eye.
That sucks.
Like I have like chipmunk cheeks almost, it feels like.
That's nuts. I'm glad you're all right.
Yeah, little guy too. It was just a little bee. It wasn't like a teeny tiny type of bee. I'm not sure what kind of bee it was. Like smaller than the nail of my pinky finger bee.
Really?
I pissed him off somehow.
Like a sweat bee?
Yeah. A little bit bigger.
Huh.
It wasn't like that teeny tiny. It was like as wide as my pinky nail too. But yeah, it wasn't very long.
That's
yeah,
weird.
I pissed him off pretty good.
Man, you must have. Ugh.
So how was your 3-day weekend so far?
It's been good so far. It's pretty rainy Saturday and Sunday, so. But worked out well considering grass got cut. So it's just a matter of, well, that's about it. I do got to get the wax ring swapped out on the toilet here. Hopefully today. I'm just nervous about pulling that toilet up. Because I can't be sure that the wax ring was ever installed properly based on the feel of the floor beneath my feet. And that makes me nervous as shit.
I've never done that. The neighbor lady asked me. She had one that needed to be replaced. I was like, I've never done that before. I was like, I can give it a try, but yeah, I've never taken the toilet all the way apart to where you just see the hole in the floor.
I remember my dad installing them. So I've seen them, you know, when you build the floor and then you put the flooring down and you install the flange and then you put the wax ring in and then you install the toilet. So I've seen it from the ground up. Never sort of reverse engineered. But I don't think it's that big of a difference. With the exception, of course, maybe a subfloor that's all fucked up because the guy before you didn't put the wax ring on properly and it's been slowly leaking and rotting away the floor in your bathroom. Which is about where I think I am now, so it's my apprehension to start the project. God forbid I not be able to finish it and I'm just stuck with no toilet.
Yeah, that would suck. Oh, man.
Yeah,
So what'd you do over the weekend? Anything exciting with your time?
Nope. Not a damn thing exciting with my time.
Oh, they went out to Karen Land Saturday. I wasn't feeling good Saturday. My stomach was all tore up.
That's no good.
Fun playing out in the woods and all that kind of good stuff. Playing with Far.
Far is always a good thing.
Wednesday. Baseball game. We're taking Liz to go see the Spartanburgers play. Kind of excited. I haven't been to any type of baseball game in, geez, since I was helping my buddy coach Little League. He was coaching his nephew's team, and I was like his assistant coach or whatever. That was a while ago. I haven't been to like a professional baseball game. Jeez. It's like my teens, maybe. Late teens. And I don't think I've ever been to a minor league game. I've seen the Cubs, a handful of times, and then the White Sox probably a couple handfuls of times. Their tickets were always cheaper and on the south side. We'd have to travel through all that traffic and everything. We'd go to more White Sox games than Cubs games. Yeah, it was the one thing that was nice about Chicago is you have two baseball teams. Very rarely did they both suck at the same time, real bad.
They got a baseball team, baseball game, baseball league out there that's essentially just like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Really?
Pretty sure. Trying to remember.
What are they called?
Trying to remember. And it is completely slipping me. I know they play here in St. Louis.
Yeah, this isn't even. Huh?
I know they play in St. Louis quite a bit.
Oh, they play in St. Louis?
Not like exclusively. I think they come through the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah. I saw the Harlem Globetrotters back in the day. Play the Chicago Bears. It was like a charity thing. I thought I was going to see Walter Payton and Richard Dent and, all these. No. Jim McMahon, no. It was like the backup players of the Bears. And then we saw the Bears in the Bulls scrimmage. And I thought I was going to see Michael Jordan and no. They didn't go to those things so much. I did see Mike play once, though. It was like a Bulls season ticket holder thing. One of my buddies, his dad got the tickets from his boss because he couldn't go. They did it every year. And you got to go sit real close to the court and just watch them all warm up and this and that. And then I think they just played them. I don't know. They played against each other or I forget what that was all about. It was like the season opener thing. It was cool. Went up in the John Hancock Tower that night. Never been up there again in my life. I don't know. How are you with real tall buildings? What does that little voice in your head say?
Avoid the areas that will contain any really tall buildings. But I can't even tell you the last time I was like way up in the tall building. Like, what do you consider tall? Like 10 stories? 30 stories?
Like 30.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've been
when
over
you go up
30.
Yeah, I don't like it. I didn't like 10. There's something inside me that says, what are you doing up there? You're supposed to have your feet on the ground. Yeah, we have a bank holiday Monday. Memorial Day. I used to go around on Memorial Day and tell people thank you for your service whenever I'd see somebody I knew. And then my brother told me, we really don't like that. Don't do that. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, because most people wouldn't say that to me. They wouldn't be like, they'd just be polite about it. Okay, thanks, no problem. But yeah, like my brother was like, yeah, people really don't like hearing that stuff. Maybe the young guys, that maybe just got through boot camp or this or that and whatnot, or haven't been deployed ever. But you get those guys who are, battle tested, and they don't want to hear it. I know that my one buddy I met out on Walkabout, he said the same thing. He would tell me crazy stories, man. He'd get kind of drunk and start talking about, the stuff that he did over in Iraq and Afghanistan. Make your toes curl.
I bet.
Oh, man, I feel so bad for those people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gotta suck.
So did they have a bank holiday overseas as well? Chilster says he's in Scotland and they have a bank holiday as well. That's weird. I didn't know. So Memorial Day is always on a Monday, right?
I believe that's correct.
So what is the bank holiday over across the pond right now?
It's a good question. No idea.
Oh, they have 2 bank holidays in May, it says. What is May Day? May Day is May 1st, right?
Yes.
Or is it May 5th?
First, I believe.
May 1st.
Looks
Yeah,
like.
I don't know what.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure. Did you look it up?
No, not yet.
I'll look it up right now. Bank holiday in UK. Oh, the King's birthday? Yeah, they have the early May bank holiday and then the spring bank holiday. It's the spring bank holiday today. Celebrated on the last Monday in May each year, providing a much-needed break as we transition into warmer months. Unlike some other holidays whose dates vary, Spring Bank Holiday is a fixed occasion, making it an easy to plan your long weekends well in advance. Well, the dates vary, though. You can't word it like that. Unlike some other holidays whose dates vary, well, if this is on every Monday, then the dates vary as well.
Right.
Fucking AI.
Fucking AI. Doesn't have the sense God gave a
Did
rubber
you see
duck.
Huh?
He said doesn't have the sense that God gave a rubber duck.
Yeah, Whitsitt and Dave did a show with some rabbis. I think it was Saturday. Maybe. Yeah, I think maybe it was just Whitsitt went live Saturday night. Maybe the rabbis thing was before. But yeah, he's coming back. Austin's getting ready to start up debating and all that kind of stuff again. Yeah, sometimes you just need a nice long break like that.
That's what I've heard.
After all the shit they were getting.
I can imagine.
And Dave was over on the Sombrero last night. It was a good show. They were having fun over there.
Yeah, it's over there for a bit.
Oh, man. I'm having trouble waking up. My eye still just feels funky, man. It's just weird. Having really puffy eye like that. I'm standing there, and I can see like way more with my left eye, trying to look straight down, like at my feet. So is this what chubby people feel like? Like their vision is not, they don't see as much. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I agree, Laura. I mean, Dave was saying it last night. There is no debate anymore. I think we've hit maybe the 100th monkey effect as far as fear is concerned. Not quite the 100th monkey of everybody knows, right? But we've hit that point to where there's enough people talking about it that people are getting over that making the first video anxiety type thing, right? Putting flat earth in the title of one of your videos. It's like every day I find somebody new or a couple people who have made their very first video that says flat earth in the title. And some of them have like 4,000 videos, 1,000 videos. Just, they've been doing it for a long time. Some of them, they just started, like within the last month. It's crazy. The numbers are just exploding. It's insane. I've never seen it like this before. It seems like all the people that know about it, but just don't talk about it, right? We always said there was a bunch of those people out there. People who don't go around talking to other people about it at all. If they were asked in a public setting, they'd say, well, no, the Earth's a ball, right? Because they were trying to avoid the ridicule and all the nonsense that comes with it. Now people aren't scared to say it. Yeah, Rico, over 50% of people where he went for a month were flat, he said, easily. Yeah. It's definitely different now. And it's being like talked about in all the circles. I even saw one of these, what are they, Pleiadians? People who claim they talk to the Pleiadians and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about it. The one lady I saw, the young lady I saw, was saying how it was a globe, right? But the conversations are being had in these circles. Even the star people are talking about flat Earth and having the discussions now. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh yeah, I saw that, Laura. End Times Productions. I didn't see him attack Richie from Boston, but I heard Richie's response or something, or he made a video going through it. The guy's like, it doesn't matter what you believe and what I believe and this and that. It's like, well, if you're coming at it from a religious stance, I'm sorry, but a lie does matter. Okay? If you're following Jesus Christ, his own words are, the truth shall set you free. So, deception and lies does matter, right? If you want to be free, then yeah, exposing a deception and lies is kind of an important thing. Yeah. And I've never even heard of End Times Productions.
I'm sure I've heard of them.
Yeah, I saw a video with him on it, and I'd never seen the guy before. And there's a lot of people out there that are just asking questions now too. It seems like it's really hit the black community that looks into sports more than anything else. Like most of their content will be about sports and either basketball or football or something like that. We're seeing all kinds of conversations being had and the rapping community. I saw someone talking to Snoop Dogg about it. He said Earth's a rectangle. I'm not sure what that was all about, but yeah, it's being had. These conversations are being had everywhere. Big shout out to Unkulule Kutuma. I don't say it quite as well as Josh does, but I kind of get it. Unka.
And I don't say it as well as Duma does.
No.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Hey.
I'm just...
How are we doing, Nuka?
Just barely there. That's how I'm doing.
Do you have a bank holiday today?
No. I've just been away. If I go off at some point during the streams because my delivery is here, I wanted to join from the second half, but I'll join after the break properly. Because I wanted to talk about the meeting with Trump and our president, and I waited for things to calm down and see the reaction.
Your president talked some shit
on the whole thing.
Didn't I see your president talking shit about Trump? Twisting and manipulating words?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Could have sworn that's what I saw.
I'm worried about Trump.
Dirty. He did him dirty, dude. Trump did your president pretty dirty. Like blindsided him with, oh yeah, let's watch this video right here.
Yeah, the video is not even from South Africa. That's awesome. That's brilliant.
Poor guy. Yeah, it's all a stage, man. So that video wasn't even from South Africa.
Well, it depends which one. If you're talking about the one where the guy is wearing a red hat, a red beret, we here at IRONWORX had actually talked about that guy, if you remember correctly. because we were talking about freedom of speech, and I said the guy sang the song "Kill the Boer," which is kill the Afrikaner, and how it was challenged in the Constitutional Court and all of that, and he changed it to "Kiss the Boer." And he's not in power. He's just it would be the equivalent would be somebody taking a video from the KKK. Oh, we hate all blacks. They must all get out of here, fucking monkeys and whatever. And saying, oh, that's the view of America. It's literally the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So crazy, man. Yeah, I thought that was a low blow. When I saw Trump do that, I was like, oh, that's kind of...
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it after the break. I know, Josh.
Yeah.
Play your tunes.
All right. I don't really have much. It's Monday. It's a Monday and I'm off. I'm supposed to be up at 3 so that I can come out, get stuff ready, do what I need to do, come back into the studio, get everything set up so that we can go live by 4, but I slept until 3:30. Kind of fiddled and fucked around out in the kitchen when I should have been getting my stuff ready. Had to hurry in here to get stuff set up. Stuff was still all jacked up from last week because I was playing around with it after the show because I didn't have work on Friday too. So now I've spent most of the morning trying to get things back to the way they're supposed to be and have been unsuccessful for the most part. But I do see there was a request to put in for Cami and Joanna. So I'm just going to play this one here. It was requested over the weekend by Liz. Don't you guys go anywhere because we will be right back. This is the IRONWORX.
Distant cities just to see me stand over my bed, disbelieving what they see. They say I must be one of the wonders, God's own creation, and as far as they see, they can offer no explanation. Intimate questions, want confessions. They reach into my head to steal
Allen. I like IRONWORX because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cozy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that IRONWORX with Josh, Walt, and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the IRONWORX.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Ironrealmmedia is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the IRONWORX with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the IRONWORX and become an Iron Scout.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half. Big shout out to Liz the Iron Maiden.
Who has appeared in chat. She heard
Summoned.
you.
That's right, summoned by her own request. I want to give a big shout out to Campbell and Martin Lika, who apparently be doing a live stream right now as we speak. State of the realm, as it were.
Nice.
Okay. Hello, Liz. Haven't seen you in a while. So, where do we start with Trump?
Where indeed?
I've watched the news after the whole ordeal and how initially the big Trump supporters were like, oh yeah, it was a got you moment. It was showing the South African president this and that. And as time has unfolded and people started fact-checking a lot of things, they realized what an absolute clown Mr. Trump was. And I view him now as a clown because how can you get outsmarted and outmaneuvered by our president, Ramaphosa? We call him here Ramaphosa. That's how much we hate him. And for him to go there on the international scene in front of all the other presidents that were clearly watching and to be outplayed by Ramaphosa is something else. He behaves like such a child. If he's got something in his head, it will not matter what evidence or proof you have to dispute what he believes. He's going to carry on. It's like arguing with a petulant child. There's no point. And halfway through that whole thing, I wished our president would have just said, thank you for your time, Mr. President, but we're going nowhere. I'm going home. Because it was just pointless.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff over here the last few weeks that people are like, hey, wait a minute. I thought we were going to start being open and honest now. And just real quick, like Kash Patel, his head of the FBI and all that stuff, coming out and saying, oh, yeah, Epstein killed himself. And we still haven't seen any of the files or any of that stuff.
Well, no. Well, they read the files. I mean, Kash and Dan Bongino both. I mean, they read the files. They know the truth. So you just should trust them when they tell you, oh, no, Epstein really did kill himself. They're not going to provide any new information. They're not going to debunk or answer any of the obvious questions that come up during his questionable suicide. They're just going to come out and tell the American people, no, we read the file. He killed himself. Take our word for it. End of story. I'm sorry. All right. Well, I'm fucking done with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's been unraveling over here, Mika. A lot of the diehard Trumpers are starting to question certain things that we were told, hey, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that, and here we are almost 5 months into it now, something like that. And none of this stuff is they even released some.
I'm looking at it from like an international. I was just looking at things from an international point of view. You guys have the luxury of looking at it locally and your concerns locally. But I can't imagine being the president of being a democratically elected president of a country, coming to the US to talk or negotiate with Trump, and knowing that you're going to be on live TV and all of these things are going to happen and it might ambush you. And I don't think any other president will do this ever again. If they do, they'll be sending in their vice president or something. Because I'm just looking at the fallout, because immediately after this, I say immediately, it was 3 days afterwards, France, the French president, posted, and it was in all their publications, that they've welcomed South African delegates into their country to negotiate and work together as business people to create jobs and so on and so on. Obviously, China had a lot to say as well. Russia's doing their own thing, because I think Trump will not do that to the Russian president, because he might definitely get embarrassed. But just the international fallout, and in particular all the BRICS nations who are watching, I would assume, intently at that exchange and the propaganda on display, probably aided by Elon Musk himself, because a lot of those videos were, number one, taken out of context, number two, basic propaganda, number three, some of them are just outright lies. We've spoken about the Kill the Boer video. There was another one where it was, I think, a graveyard of all the farmers that have apparently been killed. And it was a video from Congo. It wasn't even in South Africa. Then they showed a memorial one about all the farmers that have been killed, trying to illustrate that it was a genocide. But in that same memorial, there's a bunch, it's not just white people. There's colored people, black people, Indian people in the same memorial. If you just go on their website and look at the names, it's there. You look at the murders so far in the farming sector this year so far is 44, and 8 of them are actual farmers. The rest are staff who are not white. And of the 8 farmers, 3 of them are not white either. So where is the genocide? Our country has a big problem with crime, with violent crimes in particular. I think we ranked 5th in the world in terms of violent crime. And I would think Trump would tackle the issue in that sense, that, you know, your country has a lot of crime, because it's not a genocide. We all are affected by crime and violent crime in this country, no matter your race. Now, of the South African delegation, there was a guy they called Rupert, old white guy. He basically owns half of our economy. He owns a piece of pretty much all the major businesses that operate in our country. Ramaphosa himself owns all the licensing for the McDonald's in our country. So if you open a McDonald's in this country, you're paying some of your profits to him directly. That's how he made his millions or billions.
Wow.
So it was strange but interesting to see Rupert being there as well. And I think he directly interceded in a conversation and said to the president, or Mr. Trump, that there is no genocide in South Africa. No. And initially I said, well, who the hell is this guy? And then when I looked up, I was like, oh shit, it's this guy that is a myth that you hear about, but you never see. He never gets involved in scandals or anything of the sort. Sort of like all the guys that are really in charge in America. All the BlackRock people. You never see any of them, no scandals, nothing. This guy is similar to that.
Yeah, it looks like all the different news agencies around here the last couple days Yeah, one Trump showed images of genocide in South Africa. One was from the war in Congo. So they're actually putting it out over here. All this stuff you're saying, they're actually covering it here the last couple days. Trump worries more about South Africa's non-existent genocide.
Why is this happening? What is the point of all of this? For South Africa, we trade with America. They're the second largest country we trade with. So for us, it's billions of rands or $590 million that hangs in the balance if we don't have a good working relationship with America. So I can understand why our country would come there and, have a conversation with Trump or negotiate or whatever. But why is Trump in particular interested in South Africa beyond the link of Elon Musk? Elon Musk has been blocked by our government to start a stupid Starlink thing in our country. At every turn, he has been blocked. That's the only link I can find this whole thing is happening. Because as soon as this has been concluded, yes, there's been a fallout here, a fallout there. Depending on who you ask, this person won or this person won. But I saw in our news just yesterday that now they're meeting up with representatives of Starlink to work out a deal where they could possibly be able now to launch in the country. So how does that happen from outright refusing it?
It's what they call greasing the palms, is what they call that.
Well, yeah, a guy from South Africa said he's to enter the White House, he must first speak to Elon Musk about Starlink. This was 53 minutes ago. First post.
Well, there you go. No wonder now they're willing to meet with representatives for Starlink. When before they just said, no, we don't want you here. We don't want your Starlink. On a plane says South Africa, the birthplace of the gated community. I chuckled at that, but unfortunately it is kind of true.
And then another video or another article said, what was it? That they invited, South Africa invites Trump to explore business opportunities. This was 3 hours ago. So they're trying to grease his palms a little bit.
I guess this year we will not be having our Navy war games with Russia and China at the coast of South Africa then.
Do you guys have a lot of shootings over there? Or are they not nearly as much?
Well, we do have shootings. Remember, the public in general is not allowed to have firearms unless you get a license and jump through a few hoops.
That's where we have most of our shootings here in the States, is places where it's hard to get guns. Chicago, New York, LA.
Yeah, the bad guys don't care about the rules. They're going to have guns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Do you guys still have high gun violence, even though you're not supposed to have guns over there?
Yes, we have a lot of gun violence. I wouldn't say shootings, but I mean armed robberies and hijackings and housebreakings happen with people carrying firearms. They might not fire the gun, but they have it.
Yeah, most of the time you don't even need to fire it. People are going to listen to you if you just have a gun in your hand. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy the amount of violent crime we have here in the major cities. And then you go out into the suburbs and, you know, the country, and it falls off exponentially. Like all those countries in Europe that have real low crime, our crime is about the same as theirs, our gun violence crimes, when you get out of the inner cities. And most of it, it's sad to say, is black on black crime. It's gangbangers doing this and that, and they're killing each other faster than anybody else in the country. These
That's always the cultural thing. Yeah, that's always the cultural thing.
Like, do you guys have rap music over there, like gangster rap?
Not gangster rap. No, we have rap, like local rap artists. I mean, I used to be a rapper in high school, but we don't really have gangster rap. We don't rap like, oh, I'm gonna come and kill you, whatever. They rap about, you know, struggling, trying to make a living for themselves, that kind of thing. But they don't like go around saying they're gangsters and they'll shoot you, because I mean, you're just gonna get arrested. You're advertising that you're a gangster. Someone's gonna shoot you, or you're gonna get arrested. That's just dumb.
Yeah,
they'll arrest you for saying you're a gangster?
You're inviting them to look into you. You're claiming you're a gangster, now you're sitting with your friends in the corner, and then they see you, they're going to stop you, and they're going to want to search you, and eventually they'll find something on you.
What if you spend all of your time in the recording studio making songs about how gangster you are? Like,
well, that's not really going to resonate with our youth, because most of them are not gangster.
Well, most of the people here in America weren't gangsters either till they introduced gangster rap. Once upon a time, there was a strong family unit.
Yeah, again, it's the culture thing. And a lot of our black youth, and I've said this before here, they're trying to sort of assimilate to the American urban culture, which has that gangsterism thing. But I think the most damaging part of it is with the women who now behave, talk, and act like American black women, which is not a shining example. I'm generalizing. I'm not saying all. I'm just saying from what is shown on TV, it's not something that I, particular in person, would be attracted to or want to involve myself. Yeah, we have gated communities, we have suburbs, and if you're black and you live in the suburb, what the hell do you know about being gangster? You know, you're gonna be rocking out to Blink-182 as well if you're my age, or Green Day, Paramore, My Chemical Romance, Linkin Park. Yeah, you'll like rap because it's the cool thing. So you'll like people like Roddy Ricch, maybe Tyga, Kanye, maybe Eminem, but you don't really rip that culture. You don't really try to assimilate into that culture. You go on about your business. You're a suburban kid. You go to a flippin' private school. You know, your life basically has very little problems. So again, it's culture. If you're born in the township, yes, you're going to identify more with the American rappers because of a lot of them claiming that they come from poverty and the struggle and whatever, but you're not going to get your hands on a gun and start robbing people and shit. You know, like it's just not going to happen. You're just going to like the music and you're going to move on. You're going to go to school, you're going to try and get a job.
Yeah, it's not that different around here. Sorry. I'm getting distracted by my audio. Seems like
shit, I was muted.
every week they start messing with my audio drivers.
Yeah, in the city of Chicago, it's getting so bad, Nuka, that they have black teenager violence season. And it already started early because it's warmer up there in Chicago this year in the spring. And there will be like 100 black teenagers that go and just start ransacking buildings. They'll pick like a block. Like 100 of them. And they just go in, punch people in the face, rob them, go and mess with businesses.
And what the cops are doing about this?
Blocking off the streets to make sure it doesn't spread. Basically giving them carte blanche, free reign when they hit.
Oh, that's dumb.
And it's not so much kids around here these days. Now it's, well, I guess a lot of kids, but even young adults stealing cars or getting like four-wheelers and motorcycles and ATVs. And then they just come en masse and just tear up an entire neighborhood. Like they just come in, take up all the intersections because they're doing donuts and burning rubber and doing all just kinds of crazy shit, making the roads really unsafe. And then there's really nothing the cops can do. We had this case happen, I think, last week. Cops didn't do shit. No, their big claim to fame.
Rubber bullets, nothing?
They bragged about the 4 cars that they managed to get spike stripped. Like, later on that night. There was no real...
Out of the 100.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yep. They laid down some spike strips
Well,
and
have you
stopped
seen
4.
some of the police out there now? Like, at least 50%, if not more, of the police could not pass a physical exam to get into the police force 20 years ago. I saw a chick in this video of a girl in sandals outrunning these 2 female cops. She was just like jogging down the road. And these 2 female cops go running after her. Neither of them decided to go back to the car to chase her. They just took off running after her and eventually ended up giving up.
No. You don't want that, Zach. Women drivers, no survivors.
Oh, but there needs to be some kind of like the military. If you have to be able to do so many push-ups, so many pull-ups, run a mile in this amount of time. I mean, these are police. They need to be in pretty good shape to, apprehend criminals and all this kind of stuff. So you don't have to pull out your gun and shoot them.
Yeah, well, we have that same problem here. We spoke about it last week, I think. We have that same problem here. I got stopped on the weekend by these 3 lady cops. All 3 of them, I'm taller than them, I'm bigger than them. And I was just thinking to myself, what the hell are these girls going to do if I decide to say fuck it and just go? Just because they stopped me and I complied. I mean, if I wanted to say no, what the hell are they going to do?
They'll radio ahead. You can't outrun the radio. But we are. I see producer Liz reminding us we've got the halfway point coming up right now. So don't you guys go anywhere. At the very least, stop and hug a monster.
To my son, I haven't met. I need to warn you that we're gonna be best friends. Thick or thin, sink or swim, lose or win. We can battle in the castle with the dragon. Hop back in our rocket ship into the sky. We're gonna cry till we laugh and laugh till we cry. You and I, you arrive right on time. Try to slow it down, the skills roll by. And by the way, There's gonna be some times I'll have to go away just for a little while. But while I'm gone, don't be scared when that darkness comes. Always remember that when there's monsters under your bed, don't be afraid, son. Know that it's all in your head. When you've had enough, turn around, track it down, go give that monster some love. Go give that monster a hug. There's gonna be some days when there's gray clouds, so we can be amazed when the sun's out. See our scary shadows, we just laugh at them, not run away. We'll just learn how to dance with them. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous that I'm gonna try, but I'll never be a perfect dad. Just a clown in this circus of circumstance, lost on this crazy planet, but I'll just keep working at it. There's gonna be some times I'm gonna let you down, I'm gonna mess it up, but I can promise now you can always find I'm right there by your side. When there's monsters under your bed, don't be afraid, son, know that it's all in your head. When you've had enough, turn around, track them down, go give that monster some love. Go give that monster some love. Give that monster a hug, give that monster a hug. To my son, I haven't met, I need to warn you that we're gonna be best friends. Thick or thin, sink or swim, lose or win. At the end of the day, we can just fly away.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. You're listening to Iron Realm Media. I listen all the time, and it's the best truth show out there. Forget about the mainstream lying. Get your weekly dose of iron. Realm, that is. Stay woke, folks.
And welcome back to the first half of the second half of the IRONWORX, streaming live on YouTube and Rumble. Shout out to Nemo. I see you over there on Rumble. Showing Rumble a little bit of love.
Much love, Nemo.
Road.
So they found the oldest rock in the United States, allegedly.
Well, happy birthday.
So Michigan has the oldest rock, containing zircon crystals that formed around 3.82 billion years ago.
Okay.
Right. Just so you all know, they can't carbon date rocks. It doesn't, carbon dating only works on dead stuff or stuff that was, alive, biologic.
I mean, it's interesting trivia, but I'd like to know what the top 5 are. Who had the oldest rocks before they found the one in Michigan? Who comes in second? Who's the second oldest rock? And how does the oldest rock in America hold up to the oldest rock in the world? No rankings
So it used to be
whatsoever.
Minnesota.
Garbage.
Minnesota used to have the oldest rock.
Ah.
Right.
And how young was that rock to have been beaten out by the Michigan rock?
They're not really saying.
How many rocks did they test? What was the sample size? I'm real curious.
4.
Out of 4 rocks, they found one that was old. Nice.
No, I'm joking. I don't know. Billions.
So, guys,
Billions.
All of them. They tested them all.
have any of you ever heard of the absolute?
Absolute.
Yes, I have. Belvedere makes a pretty decent vodka, but if Belvedere's too expensive, you just buy the Absolute.
So this is research done by the CIA.
Oh yes, I just sent this recently. I think because this is where they found the upside down from that one TV show.
Basically,
yeah, I saw
there's
this.
all these entities that can interact with humans and all of this other stuff. Now they were doing this since the documents themselves are dated 1983. They were apparently released in 2010. So how long have they been doing this crap? And how long have they known about these things? And what practical use have they done now to use whatever there is that they found? I mean, I'm looking at these documents, and they've even got drawings of the brain and how you're supposed to access this particular upside down world using frequencies.
Yeah, this is it directly relates to the CIA and to what's the binaural beats, the one program that Walter started all those years ago with what's his name that was in the CIA. Yeah, this is Christ, I'm drawing a blank now. I just shared this with Walt and Zack last week. Because it's all about
that was weird.
The mirror of the tree of life, which is the tree of death. It's going to take... I'm going to butcher this because I watched it and sent it to them and haven't watched it since.
Death, yes.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, I'm going to draw a blank. I should have watched it more than once. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting.
These other cultures access this realm, I don't know what to call it, through rituals and sex magic, it's called. But I think the only difference the CIA uses is that they use science instead of magic.
Yeah, they figured out, well, it's these chemicals that are induced in the human body when doing this and that and this and that, so we're going to just pump people full of those and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
I will drop the link to the video that I shared with Walt and Zack here in this chat, if I can find it.
Did you guys see what the Russian scientists? I saw a video on this. They claim that they have figured out where the soul goes after the human body dies. So they pretty much, there's people, I forget the name of the company, but people who have agreed to do this like testing where they like map out your brain by adding chemicals that attach themselves to every cell in your brain. And it's like an RFID tracker type thing, right? They can track where this energy goes. Allegedly. I'm not saying I buy any of this. So after the first person who had it done had passed away, they're claiming that their energy of their brain went straight up into the sky and they lost it for a while. It was moving so fast they couldn't track it. And when they finally found it again, it was 100 billion light years away in this galaxy, blah, 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 up in one of the star systems. So there's that. I don't, it was interesting. They claim they can do this. I find it hard to believe. It sounds like Narnia to me. But yeah, they're claiming they can know where your soul goes after you die. So we'll see if we hear anything more about this in the future. Let me see if I can find an article on it. I saw a YouTube video. I never went and really looked any deeper into it, though. Russian scientist track soul after death. We'll see if that does anything. So, while some reports suggest Russian scientists are studying consciousness, well, screw you. Why'd you do that? I was reading it, and then you just erased it. So
isn't there some research also that says when you die, your brain is active for like 10 minutes or something?
I think there's probably a certain amount of time. There's still all that electrical current running through there. Got to dissipate.
See, I've heard like if you had your head cut off, you'd be alive for like at least 10 seconds. But I haven't heard 10 minutes. Maybe.
You're alive breathing, but your brain activity is still active for like 10 minutes after you're dead.
Oh, this is
I'm
from
wondering
9
what
years
you
ago.
see. I was wondering what you see in those 10 minutes.
Well, maybe
what
nothing.
You feel, what you experience.
Is it full brain activity, or is it partial brain activity?
Ooh, I don't know.
Because if your head's disconnected from the body, but your brain's telling your body to wiggle your little toe, it's not going to do anything. You'll have brain activity, but it won't be obvious. It'll just be electrical impulses occurring inside the brain where nothing else happens.
So you are
Laura in
clinically
chat.
alive for about 10 minutes.
Laura in chat
chop
says
your
that
head
her
off.
great-grandpa watched a decapitated man pick up his head and walk.
Wow.
Good morning, Shari Ives.
That'd be pretty weird.
That'd be really weird. Be like that chicken that got his head partially cut off. They had to take him around as a sideshow freak, feeding him with an eyedropper through the top of his neck because he had no head. People are weird.
Okay, so they're saying there's somebody in Arizona, University of Arizona, who put sensors on chronically ill patients minutes before they were taken off life support, allowing them to capture activity after each patient's blood pressure and heart rate went down to zero. Block. That the scientists saw everything go away and got this burst of activity. That could be the near-death experience, or it could be the soul leaving the body, perhaps. They're not sure.
Or it could have been a power surge in the electrical grid. What kind of sensors? Like, what the fuck? It seems pretty vague. We just put sensors on them. What are you detecting? Well, we put sensors on them, and once they had 0 blood pressure and 0 brain activity, then the sensors went off. What were you sensing? Well, we don't know. Maybe the soul. We put our soul sensors on there, and as soon as the blood pressure went to 0 and brain activity went to 0, then our super sensitive soul sensors went off, and we assumed that was just the soul leaving the body. Like, what kind of sensors?
Hey Josh, I think you're feeling better then.
What are they sensing? Like, is it an O2 sensor from a car? Did you just jam some speaker wires into them? Like, what are you sensing? I don't think they make just general sensors. This is a sensor for sensing stuff. And if you hook it up, then you can see when the soul leaves the body. I think you've got to program them and make sure that they are very specific. You have to understand what it is you're looking at before you can put a sensor on it. And then you've got to manipulate that sensor to specifically sense what it is you're looking for. So, what kind of sensors did they use?
They used an EEG, an electroencephalogram.
Which is what they would use to determine brain activity, no?
Mm-hmm.
So when that went to 0, then it started again? Doesn't that happen every single time a dead person hooked up to an EEG dies? Don't they see that brain activity, the soul leaving the body, that sudden burst? Because it's not some super special sensor. If it's just the EEG.
Yeah, they said the raw data captured the moment of death, which was then followed by a spike of energy lasting from 1 to 20 minutes. So after one patient's heart stopped beating, their brain showed a sudden burst of high-frequency activity called gamma synchrony that lasted 30 to 90 seconds, and then it's gone. It's a type of brainwave pattern linked to conscious thought, awareness, and perception.
So gamma synchrony lasts for 90 seconds. What's the one that lasts for 20 minutes?
Not sure. This means that even after the heart had stopped, the brain briefly showed signs that could be linked to awareness or consciousness. Raised the possibility that the measured post-cardiac death brain activity might correlate with near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences. But all of these patients passed away. These were all terminally ill people that were on life support. And then once they removed the life support, they studied, the brain during that time. Researchers proposed 2 possible explanations for what they saw. The first was electrical interference could have affected the sensors of the EEG machine. However, since the activity was observed on 2 monitoring devices that used different methods to transcribe brain activity, interference seemed unlikely. The other theory was that the burst of activity was actually when the brain ran out of oxygen. As the brain reaches a critical level of hypoxia, the electrical signal that travels down the neuron is lost by large numbers of neurons, and this loss of electrical potential causes a cascade of electrical activity. This is why patients who suffer cardiac arrest and are successfully revived, they may recall the images and memories triggered by this cascade. In our critical care practice, we spend a significant amount of time with grieving families. In these interactions, we have found that the idea that something happens at the end of death is comforting to the families. Well, yeah. I mean, I think that would be comforting to most people, I would say. I would like to think all people, but let's get real. There's some people out there, they're just out there.
Or if when you die, because you're breaking the bonds of time and space, that 20 minutes feels like an eternity. And then in that 20 minutes of the cascading effect, your loved one is spending their eternity in hell. Congratulations. Love you. Hope you feel better. But I guess conversely, it could be heaven.
Exactly, Kellen. Techno-babble. That's what that's called. Doesn't matter if your panties are clean, Laura. Oh, man. Yeah, that's got to be a weird job, being an EMT. I don't know if I could get used. I don't want to say that they're heartless or anything, you know, but you almost kind of have to be to keep your cool and be able to do that kind of stuff. When you know everybody else around you, their family and whatnot, could be all freaking out and this and that, and to them it's just like another day on the job. That's got to be a crazy job. I knew a girl who was an EMT, like not far out of high school, and she loved it. She was really, really good at it. But, you know, that was like a running joke that through middle school and high school, she was like a heartless bitch. Really, I think it takes a certain type of, I'm not saying heartless, but you just have to have a certain type of attitude to be able to just be around death like that and not get emotionally attached. Like when I see someone crying, especially a woman, I get a little emotional, you know, not to where I start crying or anything like that, but I like feel their pain. I don't know if I could be around people constantly that were in those states, you know, at that time. It takes a special type of person to be a good EMT. I met a really cool EMT at it was like a survivalist shop. It was called Ready or Not. When I was, after 2008, I was getting ready for the crash. My bug out bag and all that kind of stuff. And he taught me so much stuff about just like his job, EMTs, where to put tourniquets. He gave me this weird thing. It's like a, kind of like a cast, but a foldable, bendable one that you can put around somebody's, you know, arm or leg or this or that, and then wrap a bandage around it and it'll keep it somewhat steady.
Like a splint.
Kind of like a splint, yeah. But they just, again, not heartless, but just not as empathetic, we'll say. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Yeah, it just seems like it doesn't affect them as much being around people that are going through strong emotional distress. Like it doesn't, like that stress doesn't come off onto them as much. I'm not saying it doesn't at all. They're not like, you know, soulless zombies walking around. And I don't know if that's just being able to turn it off and turn it on when you want to, or just knowing that, hey, I need to keep my wits about me right now. I guess it happens to everybody. Like, I can remember certain times where it was like, you know, this is very serious and I need to do this to make sure this person doesn't get hurt anymore or this or that, right? Like, when a friend got hurt or something like that, broken arm or this or that, or, you know, hand all third-degree burns all over it, I always kept my cool. I didn't go running around the yard screaming, call 911, call 9. I had buddies who did that. No joke. They would just freak out immediately as soon as there was a drop of blood or they thought somebody was seriously injured. They wouldn't go like check on them or see what they could do. They'd just lose it and flip out. And yeah, we were young. You know, we were teenagers. It's our wits that, you know, make us men. Braveheart, one of my favorite lines. But yeah, they were, even at a young age, you know, some people were able to keep it together and be like, oh crap, we got to do something about this. Joe just got hit in the head with the baseball that was doing probably 110 miles an hour. We need to do something. And then there was other buddies who ran around the yard screaming, call 911, like chickens with their heads cut off. But yeah, it's, I don't know, man. It takes a special kind of person. It's not for everybody. Being doctors or EMTs or nurses. We need to get, oh man, do you see what RFK was doing? All the stuff he's banning, the dyes and stuff? They have so many years to get it all, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. But it isn't just the dyes. It's like, you know, you look at a ingredient list, sodium bicarbonate and blah, 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 all these words with 4 syllables or more, just a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's getting rid of a lot of those. All these fillers. All these things that have no nutritional value and are there just to, you know, take up space. He's talking about getting rid of, like, a lot of them. Like, you're hard, unless you're living off stuff straight from the garden and just, you know, raw meat, stuff like that. If you buy anything that's in a box or a bag at all, even milk, like skim milk, they're saying is horrible. But yeah, if you buy any of that stuff, this stuff will be in there. At least one of these items that they're having removed is in one of these products. They were showing the list of products. It was crazy, dude. But yeah, there's so much stuff that they're getting ready to ban in the United States completely.
So you think that just means they're going to have good, healthy food for the masses, or you think they're just going to take those banned chemical compounds, alter the molecule by just a touch, call it a whole new different compound, and introduce that into the food and say, all right, now it's going to take you another 15 years to get these chemicals out of your food. And we'll just play this game.
Yeah, it'll probably be worse.
Yeah, it probably will be worse.
Just like the cannabis people do. Oh, you're going to make this illegal? Okay, then we'll make it so, like, it's now the molecule that happens after your body does the first part. And we'll take that. And we'll sell that. And then you're going to make that illegal? Okay, we'll do it a couple steps in to digestion. And we'll take that molecule. And we'll give you that. Yeah, I could see them doing the same thing.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me a bit. But yes, Liz, we have dooed it. We have hit the third and final break. I see a couple of Ians in chat. So I saw this request come through from Ian Brown for a blue sky day. Don't you folks go anywhere. This is the Ironworks, and we'll be back just shortly. It shan't be that long. Fourth and final, right after this.
Whatever happened to a blue sky day? Planes overhead, spraying all my blue sky day away. Spraying out the sun, milking out the sky. Aerosols at altitude, at atmospheric heights. Jet planes making chemtrails, making grid lines in the sky. Street graffiti not allowed, but vandalized. Stratospheric sky to a blue sky day. Planes overhead.
I don't know if you're here. Oh, no, we do have internet. Sorry. I just saw that OBS disconnected and that I didn't have any internet, so I was just going to throw my hands up and storm out of the studio, but I see that it's back on, so we'll just pick up where we left off. Don't mind me.
Spraying out the sun, milking out the sky. Aerosols at altitude, at atmospheric heights. Jet planes making chemtrails, geoengineering of the skies. Street graffiti not allowed, but vandalized. Stratospheric sky. You think I'm crazy? Would you rather I don't say? Shall we pretend that it ain't happening? And it'll all just go away. Jet planes making chemtrails, making dawn raids in the sky. Lines are spread like spiders' webs, and that's making all of us to fly. Right in front of your eyes. Shall we pretend that it ain't happening and it'll all just go away? Jet planes making chemtrails, crisscrosses in the skies. Street graffiti not allowed, but vandalized. Stratospheric sky. Right in front of your eyes. And trickery. Woke up this morning to a blue sky day. Planes overhead spraying all my blue sky day away. Children ask your daddy, tell you
dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Where everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
It's never too early to learn that the government is a greedy piglet that suckles on a taxpayer's teat until they have sore, chapped nipples.
That's right. Never too early to learn. Always a good time to be reminded. Welcome back. Fourth and final segment of the IRONWORX kicking off right now.
So what else has been going on, Nuka?
My side, nothing. But I did want to ask, what happened to that Ocean Gate thing? Last I heard, they were doing their hearings, and I'm assuming the Coast Guard must have concluded the investigation by now.
Ocean Gate.
Oh, that guy that had a submarine that takes you to the... Oh, sorry, guys, my delivery is here. Come back later.
No
All right,
worries.
Nuka.
I do vaguely remember that, and it seems like I saw something again last week, just briefly. Some underwater footage. Oh, I think it was just those faint, weird oceanic sounds claiming that, oh, this is the sound of the submarine imploding from, 7,000 miles away or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just releasing video. Moment Stockton, Russia's wife hears Titan sub exploding. Oh, how to watch the Netflix doc on Fatal 2023. That's why there's so much hubbub right now, probably, is because they're releasing a documentary on it. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really done any looking into this, but I just heard, right, that there were people saying, hey, this needs to be addressed. This needs to be addressed. There were a few different things, and they never got addressed. Now, when you're doing stuff, I mean, this is no different than flying a plane at 30,000 feet, right? I mean, it's different, but you should still take the same precautions and this and that. And I mean, you're not going to go up into a plane. Well, I'm sure they do. If it's not, if there's something that you really have a question about that is like life or death. Like, I don't know if this is going to make it all the way to, Atlanta. Okay, we'll turn the plane around. Things like that.
Okay, I'm back. They're not here. They're just asking if I'm home so they can deliver the thing.
So what have you heard about the Ocean Gate thing? I never really dug too deeply into it.
Well, I watched a few of the interviews with all the people concerned that had worked there and resigned or were fired or were involved in building the thing or were in charge of safety. And they spoke about the culture of Ocean Gate and that main guy, what's his name? Rush something. His surname was Rush. Stockton Rush. That he was the main driver of the whole thing and he didn't care about safety. I mean, the more you look into it and, you watch these interviews with all the people that were involved, you realize that the accident was going to happen at some point. It just happened at that point with the safety. So I just wanted to know, because there's still a board of directors for Ocean Gate, because they're clearly going to find them guilty of negligence of some sorts. Does that mean now they are liable in some way in a financial way to pay the victims who were millionaires in their own right. And by all accounts, Ocean Gate is broke.
Yeah, there were 5 people aboard. Yeah, the more I heard about it, the less I really wanted to look. Like, how dumb. Like, if there's all these people saying, hey, this needs to be, addressed. There's an issue here. So they just fire the people and never address the issue. That, like, okay, if it's a boat on top of the water, that's one thing. But, like, there's no place to go. It's like being 30,000 feet up in the air without a parachute. You want to make sure that the vehicle is working properly. No hiccups. You don't have room for a hiccup. It's just a very serious situation going that deep down underwater in a submersible like that.
Like, if they'd asked, I'd have sent him an article to Mike Hughes. Mad Mike. He knew better. Well, he didn't know better. That was the point. I think it works very similarly, like you said. You don't want to strap yourself into a submarine and go to the bottom of the ocean any more than you want to strap yourself into a homemade rocket and launch yourself into the fucking stratosphere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the scary thing about the whole thing, and I was talking to my loved ones, is that when you look at their pamphlets and their ads and, these 2 people, Stockton Rush and that French guy, Knodel, who was an expert on Titanic, them present it to you. It's something, I mean, if you could afford it, if like you were a millionaire or whatever, and if it was presented to you and you wanted something different, I could have seen myself, signing up as well. That was the frightening thing about it, that I would have viewed it as something that is cool and, out there and, something to try, because they were successful sometimes. They did go down, and apparently they were very safety orientated when they were still on the main boat and stuff. So I think that was really frightening that anyone could have fallen for that. It doesn't matter how smart you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I used to love roller coasters and all that kind of stuff. And I was in my late teens, and we were one of the Six Flags Great America up there north of Chicago. And one of the rides broke down. So they called the maintenance guy. Now, I was being very judgmental, right? But the maintenance guy came out, and he had hair longer than me and looked all scraggly and like he just got done burning one. And I was like, wait a minute. I was waiting for the, nerdy guy with glasses and the nice haircut and, pocket protector to come out and be like, okay. No, that's not how reality works. As soon as I saw the maintenance person, I was like, I'm never getting on another ride here again. And granted, 99.9 whatever percent of the time, you're going to be fine. But it just takes that one time, like the submersible. It just takes that one time. Like, it only takes one time for your harness of your thing to come off while you're doing a loop-de-loop for you to have a really bad day. So yeah, ever since then, I'm very wary about getting into vehicles and stuff like that are going into places or doing things that are very dangerous. Anything where it's like maintenance could be the cause of my death. I don't like to put my hands into, or my life into other people's hands like that. Yeah, it changed me. Just seeing that one guy, that one maintenance guy, who was probably could have been a super genius, and I was just being dumb judging the book by its cover. But still, I'll never forget that time, and like it changed everything right there. Like I've never gone on another roller coaster since, and I used to love them all.
And it must have been. I mean, I know they say those guys died in an instance that they didn't feel anything. But who's to say before they died, the thing didn't malfunction and they went into a free fall, knowing that eventually the whole thing was going to implode. I mean, I can't imagine being so
90
scared.
seconds of terror. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Straight
That
terror.
would be
knowing you're gonna die and you're just waiting for that moment to happen.
that whole time I will become a cannibal. I am biting the shit out of the two assholes that created this thing. I'm biting their necks open. They better feel some pain.
Your last few minutes are going to be worse than mine. I'll tell you that.
I feel pain when I die, but you're going to feel it before you die.
Yeah. I wouldn't get into one of those things. I don't even like getting on airplanes. I'm not a fan of flying, you know. I do it because it's a lot quicker than driving. But I was never a fan of flying.
I enjoy flying. I enjoy traveling and flying. But, you know, when you're looking out of that window, I always think, you know, if this plane falls, we're all dead. And I might be the unlucky one to actually survive and be super paralyzed and in pain for the rest of my life. I always think that if it's going down, nose down, try and be in the front so you're one of the first to go. So I can't imagine surviving that and how the quality of your life would be affected afterwards. And I'm terrified of heights too, but
yeah, but once you're up that high, it really isn't like heights anymore. I don't know how to. That's why I always said I'd probably skydive before I ever bungee jumped.
I'm both. You don't want to do it.
It's kind of like being able to see the rock you're going to hit if something does go wrong. You know, like bungee jumping, you look down from the bridge and you're like, well, that's a big rock right there, and that's the one I'm going to hit. But up in the plane, you're so high, it's like, I don't know, it makes it different somehow. Like the heights of the plane don't affect me like the heights of being on a 20-foot roof. I don't like the 20-foot roof at all. I freak out.
I'll go try your skydiving. You're gonna have to jump in tandem.
Yeah, but if I had to choose,
when I was in college, but yeah, I never did it again. I get the thrill part of it, the adrenaline, and especially when the chute eventually opens and now you're just floating. I didn't enjoy the falling part of it. I didn't mind when the chute had opened and we were sort of floating and you had all the time in the world to look around and shit. The falling, not so much.
Yeah, I've never fallen like that.
And you got this heavy ass motherfucker on the back of you too. And he's just screaming, "Woo!" You bloody idiot.
Skydiving. Yeah. Definitely not my cup of tea.
I don't know why people do it. I don't know why I did it. It was stupid. But you know, you tell your siblings, your cousins, whatever, my younger ones, my younger cousins and stuff, and they go, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that," and I go, "Oh, okay. Are you gonna come with me?" Hell no. I mean, why would you jump out of a plane? Yeah, because it's fun. I mean, I can count 100 other things that are fun. Jumping out of a plane is not one of them.
Yeah, no. A perfectly good plane, I could see if, you know, mayday, mayday. You jump out because you have to, but jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, nah, I'm probably not going to do that. I'd do it before bungee jumping, but, you know, good luck strapping me into one of those bungee jump things. Those are fighting words. We're going to be doing fisticuffs.
I mean, surfing has a lot of adrenaline in it. I'd rather surf. Surfing is fun. That's also mildly dangerous, I suppose. Surfing is a lot more fun.
I'd surf on maybe like Lake Michigan or something like that. They've been having 7-foot waves coming in recently.
Mr. Super
January,
Sidewinder. With Mr. Super Sidewinder with the best comment so far. I'd rather muck dive.
Yeah, I did lots of stupid stuff when I was younger. I got it out of my system. But yeah, the adrenaline, I'm not a big fan of adrenaline. Coming down sucks.
It's nice. It makes you feel alive, I suppose. It's I don't know. You feel, you know, like after you've had a workout, a really good workout, and you've had your shower. That's how you feel. You just feel like strong. You feel good. But it's not something I'd want to chase, like jumping out of a damn plane. Eventually, my luck is gonna run out. It's like when
What
you
about
go
diving under the water?
Hell no, that's
You ever
even
do any
worse.
diving?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
That's like
John
the people
Savage,
that go,
he used to love.
that go caving. That's like the people that go caving. Here's a really tiny hole. Let me try and squeeze through it to see what's on the other side. No. What the fuck?
Yeah, but that little voice in my head says the same thing. Do not stick your head in there. What are you doing? Are you dumb?
But I don't know. People just, I don't know. People fall in love with weird things. I can't see what the reward is out of cave diving and going to places that no one knows, and you might get lost and you can't turn around. You have to carry on till you find a space big enough for you to turn around and flip your body and come out the other way. I mean, no. I can't imagine why anyone would want to do that.
Well, a lot of, well, I know at least Savage, right? He was a professional diver. And he says when you get so far down there, you know, like 90 feet-ish, you kind of start feeling drunk.
Yeah, the bends, they call it.
Yeah, it's not even the bends. Even, you know, you come up right and everything, but just once you get down there that far and you're breathing in regular air, you know, right at that limit, because once you go deeper than that, you have to be on different type of air. They use different gases. But yeah, he says that, you know, breathing in that air, regular air, when you're that far down, you start getting like this euphoric feeling, like this drunkish euphoric feeling almost.
You know, it's all you white people and being fucking hipsters. Go on land and fucking take normal drugs like everybody else. Why do you want to go down into the freaking ocean or a lake to get high? Sit on a rock and get high like normal people.
I'm right there with you, Nuka. But yeah, it's that adrenaline and that there's different things, I think, on each of these things that people do, and they get this feeling from it, and then they get addicted to that. Right?
You're gonna die, bro. Eventually, you're gonna die.
Well, yeah, everybody's gonna die.
You know, it reminds me when you were in high school. You know, when you're in high school and they make you go to these like zoo places or a snake reserve or some shit, and there's always a snake handler there, and you always get the idiot that wants attention and goes, "Oh, I want to be a snake handler too. What do I need to do?" And I gotta love our snake handlers. They just said, "You don't want to do it, you're gonna get bit." Every one of us knows you're gonna get bit. And you live in a country where if you don't have medical aid, when you get bit, you're going to die. So don't become a snake handler.
No,
They're
there's
just like,
you guys.
yeah, we got to educate you about these snakes. Don't touch them. Don't fuck with them. Don't interfere. Just don't do it.
Do you have any religious groups that do anything with snakes?
No.
There are people here, right? Christians following the Bible, and there's
Down
a
the
verse
south.
in there that, yeah,
I've seen it.
I know it's big in eastern Kentucky, and there's places that it's practiced more than other places. I'm sure there's people all over that do it. But yeah, they go and handle these, and they're not like gardener snakes or a black snake, you know, something no.
Rattlesnakes.
No viper. Yeah, rattlesnakes.
There's
I saw
one
this guy
video
get
on
bit
YouTube.
right. Yeah, I saw one recently. The guy got bit right in the face and kept preaching.
Yeah.
That's the point.
And then by the time he was done preaching, they were trying to carry him out. He couldn't even stand on his own 2 feet. What an idiot. Instead of going to the hospital, he wanted to act tough and shit.
Well, that's the point. Like how you have a congregation the next week is beyond me. But the whole point is that when the poisonous snake bites you, the poison's not going to have any effect on the faithful. If you're truly faithful, then you won't be hurt by poisonous snakes. So when your pastor starts dying, you'd think, all right, well, maybe he's not quite so faithful.
Well, hold on here. What if the snake is an unbeliever? I'm not taking that chance. I am going to the hospital.
Well, we've done it, gentlemen. 'Tis the end.
Wow.
What if Earth is
That
just a
went by
power
quick.
inverter? Life in Earth is just a power inverter. The only reason we come here is so that we can die and have our DC converted into AC.
I like it.
But we'll see you back here on Wednesday. That's right. We love you guys. Hopefully Walter will be joining us on Wednesday morning. But until then, you guys, enjoy the rest of your week. If you've got the day off, do your best to enjoy it, no matter what the reason. And don't forget that we love you. Be good, be well. Do good, do it well.